Anna sat at the edge of her modest kitchen table, wiping the last of the dishes, clean after another exhausting day. Life as a single mother had taught her to survive on little sleep, little money, little time. Her 8-year-old daughter, Lily, was already asleep in their shared bedroom, curled up with her worn-out stuffed bunny. Anna's eyes drifted toward an old, rickety drawer she hadn't opened in months. Something nudged her to open it tonight. She pulled it gently, revealing a pile of unopened mail and receipts. As she sifted through the mess, one envelope caught her attention. It was aged, slightly yellowed, and bore handwriting that stopped her breath. His handwriting. Her hands trembled as she opened the envelope, revealing a letter from Lily's father, the man who had vanished without warning when Lily was just a baby. Reading his words made her heart race. He hadn't left because he didn't care, he explained. He had been diagnosed with terminal cancer and wanted to spare them the pain of watching him fade away. He had spent his final months setting up a trust fund for Lily's future, something that could change both their lives. The letter included the name and contact information of a lawyer managing the trust. Anna stared at the paper, unsure if she should believe it. For years, she had carried the bitterness of abandonment. But now, this letter reopened old wounds and offered a strange flicker of hope. Was it too late to accept this gift? Was this real, or another heartbreak waiting to happen? She folded the letter carefully, her eyes glistening. Tomorrow, she would find out the truth. Not just for herself, but for Lily. Something inside her whispered that their story wasn't over yet. It was just beginning. The next morning, Anna stood in front of her small hallway mirror, practicing the words she'd need. "Excuse me, I have a letter I need help," she whispered softly, repeating the phrases she had learned in her evening English classes. Her palms were sweaty as she held the creased envelope in her hand. After dropping Lily off at school, she made her way across the city to the address listed in the letter. It led her to a tall, glass building that seemed far too elegant for someone like her, dressed in thrift store clothes and worn shoes. But she took a deep breath and walked in. The receptionist greeted her kindly, noticing Anna's nervousness. "Do you have an appointment?" she asked. Anna hesitated, then offered the letter. The receptionist read it and nodded, motioning her to wait. Minutes later, a man in a gray suit welcomed her into his office. "I'm Mr. Langford," he said warmly. "You must be Anna." She sat down, her heart pounding. Mr. Langford explained that Lily's father had passed away 6 months ago. Before his death, he arranged a trust fund in Lily's name and left clear instructions to help Anna however possible. "You don't have to struggle anymore," he said. "There's enough here for Lily's education, and for you to pursue your own dreams." The tears welled in Anna's eyes. She had spent years barely scraping by, never expecting a miracle. Now, she was being offered a chance to breathe again. On the ride home, she looked out the window, replaying everything. It felt unreal. When she picked up Lily from school, she hugged her tightly and whispered, "Something good is coming, sweetheart." And for the first time in years, she truly believed it. Anna woke up to the golden light of morning streaming through the curtains. But something was different. It was the first day in years she didn't have to rush to her night job. With the trust fund activated and enough savings to support them for a while, Anna could finally breathe. She enrolled full-time in her English language course, determined to speak confidently, especially for Lily's sake. Each morning after dropping Lily off at school, Anna studied hard. She watched English videos, practiced grammar, and even started journaling in English. With each passing week, her confidence grew. But she didn't stop there. Remembering her dream of starting a food business, she began cooking traditional recipes from home and sharing meals with neighbors. Her spicy lentil soup and fresh, baked bread quickly became favorites in the building, encouraged by their praise. Anna signed up for a weekend business workshop offered at the community center. Though nervous, she stood up and introduced herself in English. "My name is Anna. I want to open a cafe. I believe food brings people together." The applause warmed her heart. Meanwhile, Lily flourished too. No longer burdened by her mother's exhaustion, She was happier, more focused in school, and proud to help Anna study at home. They laughed more, talked more, and dreamed together. One evening, as they sat on the couch eating homemade cookies, Lily turned to her and said, "You're becoming a real chef, Mama." Anna smiled, her heart full. For the first time, she saw not just the end of struggle, but the start of a future she could build with her own hands. The woman who once only survived was now creating a new life, word by word, recipe by recipe, day by day. A year later, the corner cafe that once lived only in Anna's dreams finally opened its doors. The sign above the entrance read, "Mama's Table, Home Food, Warm Hearts," hand-painted with Lily's help. The inside was cozy and inviting, filled with warm colors, wooden tables, and the comforting aroma of spices and fresh bread. On the first morning, Anna stood behind the counter in her new apron, her hands trembling, not from fear, but from pride. Her first customer, a shy woman who struggled with English, reminded Anna of herself. Smiling gently, Anna guided her through the menu with patience and kindness. "You don't have to be perfect," she said softly. "Just be yourself." A word spread quickly in the neighborhood. Locals didn't just come for the food. They came for the warmth, the stories, and the woman who had turned struggle into strength. Soon, Anna was invited to speak at language centers and women's support groups. She stood in front of classrooms and community halls, telling her story in English, with her head held high and Lily always watching proudly from the front row. Behind the counter, on a small shelf, sat a framed copy of the letter that had changed everything. It no longer carried the pain it once did, but stood as a quiet reminder of the past that led her here. One afternoon, as the cafe buzzed with life, Lily slipped her hand into Anna's and said, "Mama, we did it." Anna knelt down, kissed her daughter's forehead, and whispered, "Yes, my love, we did." From survival to success, from silence to speech, Anna's journey had come full circle. Not just as a single mother, but as a woman who found her voice, her place, and her purpose. And the best chapters were still ahead.